Temu, the app that gives you everything from dresses to drones for the price of a cup of coffee. But while millions of shoppers are adding to their carts, Temu is facing something it can't discount: a potential multi-billion fine from the European Union. EU regulators say Temu failed to comply with their Digital Services Act and have been investigating. And their new report findings claim the company is selling dangerous and misleading products. If the findings hold, the bill could hit more than 4.2 billion. That's more than 50 times the fine Meta paid for its WhatsApp GDPR breach. Today on Fame Economics, we break down what the EU found during its undercover shopping investigation, why this could shake up the entire low-cost e-commerce market, and whether this is the beginning of the end for one of the world's fastest-growing shopping apps. Temu launched in the US in 2022, backed by PDD Holdings. It was billed as Amazon on steroids, and with the tagline "Shop like a billionaire," it quickly gained traction before rolling out in the UK and more globally, as it skyrocketed to the top of the app download charts. In just its first year, over 100 million people downloaded the app. By mid-2024, it had nearly 152 million monthly US users. Globally, it now ships to around 50 countries. What's its million-dollar growth strategy? Aggressive advertising and relentless incentives. In 2024, Temu spent millions on the Super Bowl advertising spots, putting its ads in front of 123 million Americans. And behind the scenes, Temu was pushing influencers and existing customers hard. No doubt part of the reason why they've grown so fast. If you can convince your friend to join, you receive credits for free stuff, and influencers are heavily incentivized to promote the app. Some honest YouTubers have disclosed receiving up to 2 emails a week from the Temu marketing team for months, offering to pay them to create Temu content. So buyer beware. Chances are your favourite content creator was paid, or at least incentivized, for that video. Temu's model is factory to consumer, or F2C, cutting out the middleman so shoppers get ultra-low prices directly from China-based suppliers. Combine that with free shipping on all orders, gamified shopping features, the famous spin the wheel intro, and a blizzard of coupons, and you have a platform built for dopamine-driven bargain hunting. In July of 2025, the European Commission, which is the executive branch of the European Union, dropped a bombshell. Temu is under investigation for breaching the Digital Services Act, which is their sweeping law aimed at keeping essentially illegal products off online marketplaces. The Digital Services Act is a decent piece of legislation designed to create a safer and more transparent online environment for users. It aims to address issues like illegal content, disinformation, and transparency in online advertising. Their probe into Temu started back in October of 2024, when investigators went undercover as mystery shoppers. What they found wasn't just bad deals, it was dangerous goods. They found baby soothers with beads that detached and came away, posing an obvious choking hazard because they did not have the regulation size hole that might enable who did swallow one accidentally to continue to breathe. Essentially, if this product was manufactured in the EU, it would have been unsellable and unlawful. In addition, they found products missing the mandatory safety markings, cosmetics featuring banned ingredients in the EU, and items with misleading labels or unsafe designs. At the press conference for their findings, the EU Justice Commissioner Michael McGrath described some of their findings as extremely concerning, noting that products lacked the required design features to prevent injury and were simply unsafe to sell. If these violations are confirmed, Temu could face a fine of up to 6% of its global turnover, potentially €4.2 billion based on their 2024 revenue. And that's not all. The EU is looking at 3 other major shake-ups in response to what it believes are dubious and dangerous online sellers. First off, they're considering scrapping the €150 duty-free thresholds for imports. Essentially, goods currently costing €150 or less have no additional fees added to them on entry. This change could also impact the UK. The UK government is reviewing its duty threshold and considering reforms similar to those in the US and EU. So, despite Brexit, given the findings into Temu, I think potentially the UK could follow suit and scrap duty-free. In recent months, Temu has shifted its US warehouse inventory to keep prices competitive and avoid the more immediate tariffs that it's facing there. This was in response to President Trump, who ended the $800 duty-free rule earlier this year, bringing to an abrupt end one of the most generous global thresholds. His most recent executive order in April of 2025 means that all shipments from China and Hong Kong will be subject to new duties or flat fees. So Temu has moved to US-based warehousing in an attempt to bypass this and keep the prices low. Secondly, the EU may add a handling fee per package to cover customs checks. And they're considering creating a new EU-wide customs authority to catch unsafe imports faster. If these changes happen, low-cost imports could suddenly be not so low cost. Temu promised to cooperate fully with the EU, though it's under huge pressure to fix its compliance, and over the next few weeks or months, the company can respond formally to the findings once they have considered the full report that's now been provided to them. They did release the following statement. Temu takes product safety and compliance very seriously. We have a system of seller vetting, proactive monitoring, and responsive takedowns to prevent, detect, and remove unsafe products. We work closely with globally recognised testing and certification organisations to help ensure that the products offered by third-party sellers meet safety and quality standards. Temu's main rival, Shein, has already started shoring up its compliance, investing $150 million into safety initiatives, running millions of product tests, and it claims to have booted hundreds of non-compliant vendors off its site. They also announced new product testing facilities in the UK and Germany. No doubt about it, we're going to see stricter vetting, but sadly, higher prices are probably unavoidable, but there will be fewer risky listings. But will that slow Temu's growth? Possibly, but it might also earn them credibility with regulators and some customers. If you enjoy the low-cost shopping, my advice is enjoy it while you can. It seems unlikely to last, although regulations often take a really long time, so I don't see any major changes in the short to medium term. If I was Temu, I would take as long as possible to respond to the report and drag out the process of agreeing changes to continue growth and domination unimpeded. So, should you keep shopping at Temu? Right now, their purchase protection programme promises refunds for items that arrive undamaged, don't match their listings, or get lost in transit, but that's reactive. The EU wants proactive safety measures, stopping dangerous products before they're sold, and only compliant products that aren't dangerous can be sold in their jurisdiction. For shoppers, that could mean higher prices, but fewer sketchy items and hopefully a safer experience. But let's be honest, for many bargain hunters, trust isn't the priority. Price is. So Temu's rise was fast, but fixing safety and compliance is a slow and expensive game. The EU's case isn't just about one retailer, it's about the future of global e-commerce. Would you still shop there if prices went up but safety improved? Or are you willing to roll the dice for a cheaper deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you find this breakdown useful, hit the like button and subscribe for more Fame Economic deep dives into the brands shaping our economy. See you next time, and thanks for watching if you made it all the way to the end.